and reason to our skies. We're the Drunk Debunk Show, breaking illusions apart, unmasking the secrets, igniting the spark, raising our glasses, toasting to the truth, the sound of metal, the soundtrack of our youth. Unveiling truth, we drown in booze. Mike and his crew unravel the ruse. Conspiracy theories, we tear them apart. With beer fuel logic, we spark the dark. From moon landings to lizard kings, we'll pass them all with the truth that stings. Spirits high and minds ablaze, we'll debunk the lies in an alcohol haze. Drunk debunkers, in the night we rise, shouting truth with bloodshot eyes. The Drunk Debunk Show, let the crazies beware. We'll shatter illusions and leave secrets bare. And leave secrets bare. Secrets bare. Dive into madness, where shadows collide. A podcast of chaos, where truths are denied. The Drunk Debunk Show, unraveling lies. Mike and his guests, unveiling disguise. Conspiracies tremble as we break through the haze, unmasking illusions with a thunderous blaze. Electronic beats intertwined with steel, unleashing the truth with an unstoppable zeal. Welcome to the Drunk Debunk Show, where we expose the secrets that they don't want you to know. EM meets metal, explosive blend, unexplosive blend, unraveling conspiracies until the very end.
Today,
hello, oh my god, hello and welcome back to the Drunk Debunk Show. Jesus Christ. How's everybody doing today? I just got the craziest news of my entire freaking life. Holy moly. I was just watching the top left 2025 finalist announcement, and I am the team captain for Sovereign Soul Unchained Mind, so I get to make a video to try and make him win. Holy moly, I'm stoked. That was opening sound like you were mid-shot. No, I didn't get paid today. I usually get paid on Wednesday afternoons, but some people, they just suck about getting their timesheets in, so that, like, you can always tell when people don't put their timesheets in because you don't get paid. You don't get paid on time. So I was unable to purchase booze. Hello. Not wearing a sweatshirt today, but I am wearing my Abbey Road Star Wars shirt. I love this. It's hilarious. I love it. Now don't fuck it up, dude. I'm not gonna fuck it up. And you know why I'm not gonna fuck it up? Because I have connections. Okay. I have people that that can help me. Okay. And I'm not the most creative person. As you can see, I just put a brick wall behind me. Right? This is but I have creative people in my life that would be more than happy to help me, and I'm so stoked. You think he'll win now? Beautiful, Monkey Cat Pat Pat. That's awesome. All right, let's say hi to people. Hello, Mandy, over on the Twitch. Landon, what's going on? How are you? We got Sean Hawkins. We got Monkey Cat Pat Pat. M80 Coco. Hello, Tay. We got Michael Cooper. We got Scubadrews. Let's go. So Scubadrewzzz.
Hello there.
Is going to be on my show tonight. I'm going to send him a Zoom link in just a couple minutes. And he's going to talk about sailing. And I want to talk to him about, you'll see what we're going to talk about. You'll see. I'm not going to spoil everything right this second. We got Dr. Nick. Hi, everybody. We got Mark Von Wisco. And we got CJ. We got Omega Red. Yo, we got Silent Dave. Who else we got up in here? That's it. Two Flower. What's going on? From Sri Lanka. What are you doing over here? Wasn't that a long drive? Nick N, what's going on? So I'm gonna pour me some soda. So yeah, big news. Big news. I'm super stoked. I thought that they were done with the nominations. And then they're like, oh, and then the intro to Sovereign, to some was hilarious. They played Karen B completely tearing him apart. It was fantastic. And then they're like, unbeknownst to Mike, he's the team captain. I flipped the fuck out. I was sitting right here watching it with these headphones on even, and I flipped the fuck out. Pretty sure I woke up my baby. Okay, so what we're gonna do, I'm gonna be talking to Scubadrewzzz about some things that happened today, and I want to get his take on things, and then we're going to we're gonna watch a video by from Taboo Conspiracy's page by Hervé Raboni called "How Boat Speeds Hide the Flat Earth." So that's what we're gonna watch today. I hope that he's in for it. He's from California, I think. I know he's on the West Coast because he's 3 hours behind me. So let's get this going. DJ Batman, what's going on? Yo, Cuppy, hello. You got my haircut a while ago, but yeah, I did. Thank you for noticing. Thank you for noticing that. Okay, so I'm gonna send our friend. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna give you the respect that you deserve. I'm gonna put on my OBS. I'm not gonna have you look at my green screen. Oh, this is fucked up too. All right, give me a second, guys. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh, it's because it's being used. Dang it. Hold up. Oh, over here. Oops. Go it. Close. End meeting. Deactivate. Activate. There we go. Okay, now we're going to start the virtual camera. And now we go. Video. OBS virtual camera on. Oh my god, I look red. Am I red? No. Why do I look so red on my okay, anywho. All right, we're gonna send this to our friend Scubadrew. I keep wanting to call him Scuba Steve. Is that like a thing? Is Scuba Steve like a thing? I feel like that's a like the there's a SpongeBob thing. Is Scuba Steve a SpongeBob thing? Oh, and also, Drew, I got this email with your picture a little too late. I hope that you like the picture I chose, because I thought it was badass. That picture right there, bad ass bad. Okay, Mikey, relax. All right, we're gonna minimize you. Okay, cool. All right, so I'm gonna move this over here. We're gonna bring you over here. We're gonna make this. All right. Yeah, what's up? What's up, Drew? How are you?
Hey man, how are you? I hope it's bright enough out here. I'm outside and it's I got my little outside lights going on, so.
All right, let me put you on the screen here. Dude, thank you so much for coming on my show. I know we've been talking for a little bit, and Ficatzoid, he's putting words in our mouths, Drew. I don't like it.
He does that to everybody, so you got to expect it. I mean, I've been watching him for about 2 years and nothing has changed. And I knew exactly what I was getting into when I go there.
Yeah.
I just was really curious to see what his reaction would be because I'd never seen somebody actually bring up the certain points I did. Like, okay, I want to believe what you're talking about, man. Let's just do this but this part doesn't make any sense.
Right.
And he did what I expected, which was just kind of bring in a whole bunch of other stuff from everywhere. So
yeah, and I really feel like we missed out because Sam wasn't there for it until the very end.
Well, if I don't talk too much crap about him here, then I might be able to get back on the show again and talk to him more. I mean, I have seen him go with FTFE more than once, and so
yeah,
you know, if that's the case, then maybe I can get back on. I have no idea.
So. I also I don't want to screw things up for you for future conversations on his stream. So I will keep my opinions to myself so that you're not guilty by association, because he hates me, man.
I saw that. I was really surprised when all of a sudden I hear him say he called you vile for something. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I don't understand where that came from. I watched your stream with him. I watched the questions. I mean, you were having fun and he was just being, you know.
Yeah.
Geez,
well,
so, yeah,
it was the aftermath. It was because I made like shorts and stuff of like me ripping into Sam and stuff, which is fine. And I don't want you to be associated with that. So I just want to go over this video that they went over today. And I wanted, because you sail boats, right? What's your background?
Okay. So I'm currently in Southern California and I manage retail. I don't want to, dox my employer or anything like that.
No problem.
If anybody happens to see me and know me, well, that's fine. But they don't see me with my hair down like this, so it's a different look, no hat, that shit.
Yeah.
But I moved out here a couple of years, but I lived in Hawaii for 21 years.
Wow.
And I got to Hawaii by being involved in a research garbage patch study voyage out in the middle of the Pacific Ocean to study the garbage patch back in 2002. So that was sort of my first experience of like ocean sailing and long-term sailing and Pacific crossing and things like that. I then did another voyage in 2009, all the way to the International Dateline, where we studied. So I've had extensive time on the water, out in the middle of the ocean, far away from everywhere. Literally, on one trip we sailed off the charts in one sense, because the charts they have for sailors, they only cover areas that people really go.
Right.
And this particular place we were going, and for where there was supposed to be more garbage and plastic collecting, was really off the chart. Nobody really goes there. So it's not shipping lanes or anything like that. It's out in the middle of nowhere. And so we literally were off the charts. There was no contour lines of depth because they just don't make charts for that part of the world. So I've seen the remote parts of this earth before. then I taught scuba diving when I was out there. I lived on a sailboat for 5 years. I sailed around. So, you know, I've sailed my whole life. I've actually gone. It's funny because I was watching after Myatt was on with Facatzoid about his the guys talking about sailing and how you can't go faster than 45 kilometers and because the wind angle and all this other stuff. And I'm like, dudes, you've never been land yachting. I've been on the flat dry lake beds of California back in '95.
Wow.
And was doing 60 miles an hour across a dry lake bed with a sail. 6 inches off the ground, hauling ass, scared off to death. So the idea that you can't go faster to a certain amount of speed, no, they don't understand the physics of it.
Right.
So you just have to work with it. And it was funny to watch that and to hear these things talk about, oh, it wasn't the same exact distance for all the boats. I'm like, there's 40 boats leaving. You get one boat in a storm, one boat's becalmed, one boat's in the doldrums, 2 other boats are in 10 knots of wind, 10 other boats are in 20 knots of wind. They're all over the place. You look, there's no way in the world it's going to be like the Indy 500 where everybody's got the same exact track.
Right.
So the idea that they would say that just makes me go, they really don't have any idea what they're talking about. They just don't have a clue.
Yeah. And that seems to be a common thing with them. So, which is why I wanted to have you on. I know I threw out a community post, but I didn't because I knew. How was your horseback riding experience today, by the way?
Well, it actually didn't happen. I was trying to get the right, because I hadn't ridden in 13 years and I love riding. I'd done it a long time and I got my fiance/wife set up with lessons and kind of worked. Maybe it worked a little bit, didn't work as much as we wanted. So I was like, well, can I jump on for the last 2 lessons if you don't want to do them?
Yeah.
And so I just wanted to go out, but she requires for, liability insurance that I have the right boots and stuff. And I went to a tack shop and they just didn't have what I needed. So it all ended up being, well, okay, now I'm available for anything else that's going on.
Perfect.
So I've pushed that for another week, but I'm going to go riding again.
Yeah, of course.
At some point, I'm definitely going to do that.
Very cool. Very cool. So I am very happy that you're here because I've been, our emails back and forth have been interesting. And when I just need to make something very clear with my conversation with Flatzoid. Now I'm gonna pull up these emails. I'm not gonna show them because it's gonna dox some people, but I'm gonna read them off, and I want you to tell me who, because he makes me seem like I was begging for me to have people debate on his show. I said the last three things that I said to him. Hey bud, I have someone who reached out to me that would like to debate you on my show about the flat earth. Would you be interested? If you need more info, I can certainly get that to you. His name is Scubadrew. The topic, I guess, would be just flat earth anything. He was very vague with his request. And then the next day, I said, hey, Flat, so I just want to follow up with you to see if you're interested at all with debating on my show. I know you've got a lot going on. And then the next one, I was like, I've got a few requests from people now that want me to moderate a debate between you and them. Let me know if you want the names or anything if you're interested. That was it. And he's like, oh, yeah. He was begging me to debate. He
embellishes everything when it comes to that's just no denying it. When somebody will say something. I mean, for God's sake, they spent 2 hours on the word set or since.
Yeah,
I mean, come on, really? 2 hours on a word. So
good.
When it comes to that kind of stuff, I don't expect anything different as far as they're gonna look at that, because I had originally told him about the Vendee Globe race. I'd emailed him and said, hey, are you aware of this race? I think it's interesting. You guys should look into it. I said it kind of falsifies flat earth. And he wrote back with, boats going around in a circle and the drift and current, and didn't really say much of it. And I said, I'd love to chat with you about it. I think it was something along those lines. Said, I'd like to chat with you about it. Don't know exactly how that worked out. And then I heard nothing. And then I kind of stumbled across around the same time. I stumbled across your show and really liked the vibe you have with the way you do your show. And I was like, this guy's cool. I gotta subscribe and start. And I was like, the first super chat for one of your shows was like $20, which was a total mistake. I was driving on my phone. I should have never tried to do that. And so I went to do like $2. And I'm like, well, okay, I guess I'm doing a super chat. So that's it.
Holy shit.
It's a funny story. So, then I reached out to you and said, well, maybe because you were on his show and I loved the way you interacted with him. And he said, well, I'd like to have you back on again.
Yeah.
Thinking, well, maybe I can use that angle, and because it doesn't seem like he's responding to me. And so I reached out to you, and then I ended up emailing him again saying, I'd really love to be on your live stream. What does it take to do it?
Thanks.
And then he ended up writing back. And so then I heard what he said about, like a cohort effort to try and trap him with a gotcha or something. And I'm like, there was none of that ever happened.
No.
I just was trying to get on his show. And because, like I said, I've been watching this stuff for about 2.5 to 3 years now or more, almost 4 years now. And it baffles me. And I finally just was like, there's some things I actually want to ask. I hadn't heard anyone else ask him. I hadn't heard anyone else break it down like that. I'm like, I just got to ask him about this.
Yeah.
Got to find somebody that's not just going to, not going to go to Nico who's going to scream, religious quotes on me. No, not gonna, but, it's just, so I just figured, what the hell, I'll reach out and see what happens. And so,
yeah, it was
how it happened. And
it was worth it too. Cause I was frantically emailing you as you were talking. I'm like, look at him squirm. I got a phone. Can't do anything without that. I can't do more than one thing at a time. I know, but it was just like I needed to say something in the moment, because like my comments were I was very close to getting banned from his channel today. But but it happens, and it's all in the fun. And I've actually I kind of started the same way you did on this whole thing. Is like I've been following it for years, and like now it's time for us to do something, because like now we're like my kid, like the deciding factor of what my show is going to be is when my kids came home from school and was like, hey, a staff member was trying to tell us that the earth is flat, and they're saying all this stupid stuff. And I was like, I'm glad that it's stupid, but the underlying factor of it is people are trying to talk my kids into thinking the earth is flat. Yeah. And I was like, no. Yeah. So I'm doing what I can do,
It's one thing when you have a conspiracy theory of some things that, are somewhat plausible, but I mean, like certain people, Professor Dave has said it, it's like, it's just the dumbest conspiracy out there. And when you think that people are actually teaching children this, it's scary. Yeah. That's like, okay, we already have enough disinformation and horrible everything else going on in the world to have people actually actively saying that all of the scientific community is completely wrong, when all I got to do is look up and go, oh, the sunset is lighting the bottom of the clouds.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't, they talk about observation and what you see in front of you, and it's like everything I see tells me what I've learned.
Right. Yeah.
It just blows me away sometimes. And the one guy that was on there that asked me something about if I believe there was more conformists than moralists or moralists, right at the very end. It was the guy with I think the Eastern European accent.
Oh yeah, one of the faceless people. Yeah,
one of the guys that's in his posse there, and he asked me that, and it's just like, what does that have to do with anything? It just made no sense to me. It's like. But I guess it was the idea that majority of the sailors in the Vendee Globe race are supposedly, like just they're conformists. So they're just going to go along with the lie, and they're going to do that. Because it's 40 boats with support teams, and all of them are tracking exactly where they are and how long it takes to get there. There's a reason they have an Antarctic exclusion line on that race, because what's the fastest way around the ocean, the world? Right next to Antarctica.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the fastest. But you know what's down there? A lot of icebergs.
Yeah, no kidding. A lot of danger.
They don't want these racers slamming into icebergs doing 29 knots in the middle of the night and creating havoc. So they have the exclusion zone, which is based on where the iceberg flows are. And it's funny to see. I was surprised he didn't bring that up. Like, oh, there's an Antarctic exclusion zone. I mean, I was ready for him to say that, but I just ran out of time because I had appointments and stuff. But yeah. It blows my mind when they think about that. And it's like the further south you go, if you look at every member of that race, the further south they went, whoever went the further south traveled the shortest distance.
Right. Because the circumference is a lot smaller.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's kind of really surprising that they'll look at something like that and still just completely hand wave dismiss it and go, nope. And just But when they start saying it proves the flat Earth, I'm like, okay, that one you got me. I don't quite understand how. I cannot comprehend how a brain can come to that conclusion based on that information.
So one of the things that blows my mind is, yeah, the conformists are faking the speed of the boats. That there's no way for us to actually be able to tell how fast they're going.
When I heard that, it's kind of funny because I was on my boat one time sailing with some friends, and I didn't have any instruments on my boat when I bought it. It was a 1972 Formosa 41. For anyone that knows, it's a ketch. It's a big boat, 28,000 pounds. It's a large boat, sail by yourself. Doesn't have all the things to make it easy to sail by yourself. And we're sailing along, and someone says, "How fast are we going?" It's like I look at the water, and I'm like, about 4.5, 5 knots. And then the guy goes over and looks at what I do have is my GPS set up on the cockpit, even though I'm not using it. It just looks over. It does show my speed via GPS. 4.7 knots.
Wow.
So the guy looks at me and goes, "Man knows this boat." And it just goes to show that when you're out there, I mean, when you're sailing enough, any good sailor is going to be able to look out and go, "Yeah, we're probably doing about 12, 15 knots. Yeah, we're doing about 20 knots. Yeah, we're doing about 10 knots." Anyone who's raced, you just know. I mean, you see the water. It's not about what you're doing over ground. It's the speed you're doing over water. Now, if you've got currents ahead, obviously your speed over ground is going to be less.
Right.
Your current's stopping you, but you're still doing through the water a certain speed. And then if you've got swells and you've got, wind behind you, the guy that set the 24-hour record this year, I don't know if you saw that, 614 miles in 24 hours in a sailboat by himself.
Jesus.
So, and these boats they're using, these Yamaha 60s with the foils, are impressive, like Formula One machinery for sailing.
Wow.
And they do everything. They're designed for one thing: really, really fast in very rough conditions. And
that whole thing is just so interesting to me. The reason why I wanted to have you on was because I needed like the same reason why I had Professor Phil on, right? Is I need this stuff explained to me and to my audience for people who are interested, because I am an endless pit of wanting to learn, you know what I'm saying? And especially, because I see videos like this, like how boat speeds hide the flat earth. And I'm like, I don't know enough about this topic. So, do you mind if we, how long do you have? Like, do you have,
my other half is going to be home any minute, and I told her that I was going to be on a live stream, so I may have to jump away for a second.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
I mean, she doesn't really. She'd like, "What are you doing, live stream?" But yeah, done. She doesn't want nothing to do with it. Just. Oh, by the way, on the other half, I want to say I subbed your other half because she's got a beautiful voice.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, no,
I did because I thought her singing was quite nice, so I subbed for it. So just to keep the support going.
Thank you so much. Yeah, she undervalues herself.
The picture you chose of me is funny because when I lived in Hawaii on my boat, I would go to this dock and sit and play the ukulele.
Yeah.
And that particular video, that particular still was pulled when I was sitting. Something went wrong. Okay. So, where I was sitting on the dock of the bay watching the tide roll in, singing, sitting on the dock of the bay. So
nice.
it was fitting. So you say that, I'm like, yeah, that fits. Okay, that'll work.
I love it. And yeah, dude, I because what I was doing was I was like, all right, it's way too soon. Oh wait, hold on. How do I? Come on. No.
Do whatever you gotta do. Right?
I'm trying to. Oh nope, wrong one. And then I want to see. My goodness. Gallery. Nope, not gallery. I want to do show. Oh my god, dude. No. Am I still sharing? Yes.
I can see just the main screen you're looking at.
All right, perfect.
How speed hides flat earth.
Oh, come on. I feel like such a noob. I've done this like 3 times before. How am I not able to do this now? Oh, you know what? Because I'm a goober.
I'm just glad it's on your shoulders, not mine. So I don't know what the hell you're doing. I'm sitting here getting drunk. I don't care.
Perfect. Hey, you're on the right place for that. Yeah.
That's why I was driving home that day. You said that whole thing about raise your glass or whatever, and I'm like, that leaves no hands to drive with. I was like, drive with your knee. I'm like, I do that all the time. I don't want to get pulled over. So,
Oh man, it's so good.
so I just like I said, I stumbled on your show, and I just like the vibe you do.
Thank you so much.
Funny.
Yeah, I try to be, because I mean, this is just how I am all the time. So it's like, I just try to be as relatable as possible.
I think I first stumbled onto Craig's channel about 3.5 years ago.
Yeah.
It first got me into the idea of like Fight the Flat Earth. I'm like, this is really a thing. And it's like, wow, okay. And then I ended up getting introduced to people like, at that time it was, MC Toon was doing it, and Reds Reddick was doing a bunch. And that was before, when oh God, I feel so bad. I can't remember names of the guys that have passed. Schrodinger's cat. I mean, I have a Schrodinger's cat shirt.
Nice.
Because I liked what he was doing. I just appreciated his angle to what he was doing and stuff. And so, I mean, I've been watching it for a long time, and, tried to support when I could, where I could. Never really got into super chatting until the $20 mistake on that one, but that's fine.
Well, I mean, it's going to a good cause, sir. I
know it is. That's the whole thing. I mean, it's like, well, it's going to a good cause. I'm okay with it. That's fine.
I'm taking that $20 bill. I'm gonna. The only cash I'm gonna take out is a $20 bill, and I'm gonna be like, this is from Scubadrew, and I'm gonna buy. You know what? I'm gonna take that $20 bill, and I'm gonna buy Craig from FTFE a beer with it.
There you go.
Perfect.
Yeah, when you meet him, tell him I love what he does. It's just I love the fact that everyone has their own niche and how they do it.
Yep.
And I've watched the progress of Craig over the years and get better at hone the skills, and it's been great entertainment and great enjoyment. It really is. I've found it quite fascinating for the past few years.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, it's unmatched content, I gotta say.
It made me re-look at the things that I learned and go, wait a minute, you know what? I'm going to verify this, because I mean, before I was a scuba instructor, before I was in Hawaii, I was living in Southern California, working for a semiconductor company, building space level parts. There's a module on the space station to this day that was designed and everything with these hands.
Oh man.
When I did that, and it was about, it was if you look up DC to DC converters for the shuttle to the space station when they were assembling it, they talk about these modules they had to have, and my company built those, and that's one of the things that I did. So having an understanding of physics is kind of necessary for that.
Yeah, I'd say
you can't screw that up, because we're talking millions and billions of dollars.
Yep. And lives and
yeah.
All right, really quick, I'm just gonna go over some super chats. I got Omega Red for $5, says Monkey Cat Pat Pat stole my marbles during a dice game. Yo, Omega Red, that's not very nice. Give them back. And then Craig from FTFE for £5 says 8 days till we meet. Let's go. Very excited, Craig. Super stoked. And then Isa Rubik's for $2 says, I'm still stoned from that gummy yesterday. Let's go. Fantastic. And Professor Phil Bell says, who is the fellow? And this is you know what? I didn't put a link to your channel, like some kind of a nub.
For me?
Yeah.
I haven't put anything on that channel for years. It's so funny, because I think the latest thing I posted on there was like 2000 long time ago. The only thing I have is I have one video on there that has 4 million views. There's some pretty cool garbage patch videos on there, but I have one video of these tourists getting their asses wiped off on the rocks in Hawaii that got 4 million views, and I made about 20 grand off of it. It's pretty funny.
Not bad.
So, I mean, it's just interesting stuff. You watch me shaving underwater back before I had long hair and a beard. And then there's the garbage patch stuff is kind of cool. If anyone wants to know about just some garbage patch videos, and this was a while ago, it's 2009, so it's years ago, but the problem still exists. It's
see where I got the picture from. I just
yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's me sitting on the dock of the bay singing ukulele. So okay, I'm throwing myself out there for the world to make fun of. I don't care.
I love it.
There's a damn to me at this point.
Love it. Let's see. I have Code with TD. It was good over on the Twitchies. And we got Mr. Toffees. Welcome to the Buzz level of membership. Also, guys, you might notice that your little membership icons have changed into these pretty little crowns. As you go to like 1 month, 2 months, I think it jumps to like 6 months, you'll see your crowns change to nicer and bigger crowns. So there you go. So he is not a flat earther. No. He is not a flat earther. So I don't want to talk for you, Drew, but but he has sailed his whole life. Basically, he's a scuba instructor, and he's a really cool dude. And Mr. Oh, I already got cat food. That's hilarious. My wife just came home and showed me a bucket, like a whole bag of cat food when I already got some. Okay, anyway. And Mr. Toffee's with 5 gifted subs. Thank you so much. Those go to Pat Booth, Greg, Mark Boots, Mike Hatch, and 3 Ron. Let's go. Thank you so much for those gifted subs or gifted memberships. I appreciate it. All right, cool. So if you need to hop off at all, just let me know. I will stop the video and let you do your thing. If you I don't want to keep you for longer than you
just have to remember, because I can't see myself right now, so I don't know whatever it is.
Oh
doing,
yeah,
I can't see.
You look good.
So I just have to just remember that I'm still on camera.
Yes. Yeah. Don't pull a Steve and start
picking
your nose
like that. Just, don't do any of that crap. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, give me. Actually, my other half just came home, so she's gonna go to bed. Give me 1 second.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I can't even see how many people are watching right now. Can I see myself? No, I can't see myself yet.
Yeah, I actually don't look at. I don't have numbers on my screen because it's always been a thing for me, right? Like, what if I see how many people are watching, my streaming style changes, and I don't want my streaming style to change.
I could totally get that. What's amazing is when I was watching MC Toon and Craig before the final experiment went on,
yeah,
they were averaging 600, 700 views on the live streams and stuff. When they started doing the with all the stuff with Will Duffy and all that, and all the character, everybody, all that, their view 1,000, 1,200, 13, 14. I was like, that's so cool. I love the fact that there's so many more people seeing that, because what those guys did was really, really cool.
Oh my God.
I wish I could have done that. I would have loved to have been part of it, but
yeah,
not going to happen for this old fart. So I've had enough fun in my lifetime. I don't need to do any more.
Well, maybe one day our YouTube channels will blow up and you'll make another 20 grand and you can fund your own trip down.
Right now, I'm trying not to figure out how to, shoot myself from being a retail sales store manager.
I hear you.
Oh, I got into this. I'll never know, man. It just goes against all of my grain, but I'm doing it. I just, yeah.
Hey, if it pays the bills, it pays the bills. You know what I'm saying?
It's actually paying the bills better than most anything else I've done for a while. Other than make the rocket parts, that was the best paying job I ever had years ago, but gave that up. So,
all right, let's see. Yes, this is the fellow that Fakatzoid featured in his show today. Yes,
I was watching that. It's funny, they were comparing stuff. Yeah, go ahead, play it. This is going to be great.
All right.
This is stupid.
Yeah, because the thing is, like again, I know I'm blabbing, but I had to get someone who knew what they were talking about to go over this video with me. So, all right.
Well, just to let you know, also, I've watched every season of Sail GP, which is the foiling catamaran F50s, and I watched every single race of every America's Cup since the first time they started doing foiling. Well, actually, I watched it when San Francisco 12 years ago. Dude, you're talking to somebody that has watched this, understands it, knows it. Go for it.
Perfect. All right. Awesome. All right, let's go. And
Hey, I have the privilege of sharing another fascinating Flat Earth presentation from Hervé Raboni, which will be added to my Hervé Raboni playlist, which you can find here.
Taboo conspiracy.
For those who are new to this discussion, Hervé was a professional sailor who crossed the Atlantic 8 times.
I can't hear anything. I don't know if I'm supposed to.
You can't hear anything because I'm a nub. That's why. I'm apparent. Whoops. I'm apparently new to everything. All right. Sharing options. Oh my goodness. All right. I'm going to stop the share and then I'm going to reshare it.
Yep. That's good. I can see it now. I can see myself. I can tell I'm still in light. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. You look good.
Dark now. It's now dark out here. So this is my little heaven and paradise in the desert lands of about 25 minutes away from the water and away from everybody.
Man, that must be freaking beautiful. All right, let's go here.
All right.
Oh, man, now I have to figure this. Oh my God, Mikey. All right, I'm so sorry. All right, let's go back up here.
Okay. Still wondering if anyone's home yet. I can't tell. I don't want to do anything. Oh, I need to turn on my Do Not Disturb. Maybe I can do that while I'm still doing this.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's fine.
I need to do that. Hang on a second. I'm going to flip my phone around a little bit and
Okay.
see something here. And
oh my God, Sean, you crossed the Atlantic 3 times when you were a toddler? That's insane.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Can you see me okay? I just can't tell. I can't see because you're screen sharing. I can't tell if I'm still on camera. Am I
Yeah,
good?
you are perfectly framed. All right. All right, shall we?
I never crossed the Atlantic. I'd love to, but I've crossed the Pacific. So
Nice. I have crossed nothing. I've crossed Massachusetts.
crossed your eyes a few times. Crossed Massachusetts. Now we got to talk later about that because that's my stomping ground where I grew up, New England.
Really? All right. Yeah, we'll have to talk about that later. Absolutely.
No, my mom was sailing small boats and she was pregnant with me, which is, so it's like it just was natural for me to be a sailor.
So were you off of Maine or?
I was born in Rhode Island, so my mom was sailing in Narragansett Bay with when she was pregnant with me, and then I grew up in New Hampshire and did a lot of East Coast sailing. Not too much. Mostly when I got out to California is when I started racing on a trimaran for a couple of years out there, and then that was it.
Very cool. Yeah, we got some stuff to talk about. I gotta tell you, things have changed since you left, but especially New Hampshire.
Oh yeah, I bet. Yeah,
it's retail city up here, man.
I don't even know where you're at as far as region of the country.
I'm right outside Boston.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We definitely got more to talk about then.
Perfect. All right.
Well, my other half would like to talk about that. We're actually high school. Knew each other in high school years ago, and then met back up 2.5 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, it's kind of a cool story.
Yeah, we'll have to talk about that. I'm having a great time talking with you, man. All right. I could talk to you forever, dude. Honestly. All right, here we go.
Did our entire flat Earth
can you hear that?
as a participant in the Whitbread 1993-1994 race. As Hervé has discussed in prior videos.
What was that?
I said the Whitbread is different than the Vendee globe. It's very important to understand that. Different race.
All right.
As part of the Cabal's process.
Not interrupt.
No, dude, if you have something to say, please interrupt.
Go.
Oh, please ask our guest to explain how he measures speed while on sails only. I feel like that's going to get talked about very quickly or very soon.
Well, real quick answer is if you have a speedometer on your boat, you look at the speedometer, it tells you how fast based on the water going past the hull. If you're like an old school sailor and can look at the water and go, I'm doing about 5 knots. Well, then you look at the water and you're doing about 5 knots.
Well, and also like you mentioned, you're not measuring ground speed, you're measuring water speed. So
with a speed indicator like that, yeah, but you can also use your ground speed by your GPS and ground speed. There's sonar devices, your sonar system in your Garmin on your navigation system will be able to tell you your ground speed because it's shooting a signal at the ground.
Right.
No matter how deep you are, it's going to know how fast you're going across the ground. So you'll always have an SOG and a speed over ground and overall speed indicators on your boat.
Thank you. See, thank you. All right. let's continue. All right, I'm over here.
To change our flat Earth reality into a false globe, the controllers artificially enlarged the northern hemisphere and simultaneously shrunk the southern hemisphere. In other words, actual distances in the east-west direction in the northern hemisphere are shorter than claimed by maps and the globe.
Okay. Stop for a second.
Yeah.
Right off the bat, he just goes, the controllers did this.
Right.
And I'm looking at it going, well, what controllers, who and what? What are you talking about? Because everything in this video is based on that statement. And it's like, well, you just blew right past it without anything explaining what you're talking about.
Right.
Oh, they shrink the northern and shrink the southern and expand the. Okay, continue. But that's the first thing that when I watch this, I'm like, well, where did that come from? So,
yeah.
But okay.
Well, they're poisoning he has to poison the well as soon as the video starts. We're 52 seconds in, he's already poisoned the well. So
that just caught me off guard when I first heard.
Yeah.
Southern hemisphere, actual distances between points are farther away. But the same does not apply in the north-south direction. This deception has created various telltale signs of manipulation. Due to his experience in sailing, Hervé noticed that actual distances were shorter in the northern hemisphere and farther in the southern hemisphere. In addition, both false magnetic declination adjustments.
Yeah.
when he says like they're further in the northern hemisphere and shorter in the further than what?
Yeah, but
Shorter than what?
like,
I mean,
I feel like
I'm a little confused as to how he's getting to these situations. Just vaguely saying a statement like that.
so.
Again, which everything's based on.
So what I'm confused about, hold on, let me, I know I'm kind of going all over the place here, but what I'm confused about is, let's see.
Stop. Oh, man, you just knocked my phone all over.
Oh, no.
Dog
Is that a puppy?
Yes, that's my dog.
Oh my
Baxter's
God.
been sailing around a whole bunch too. He's a boat dog.
Oh my God. What is his name? Max, he said?
Let me do this. You gotta let me do this. Baxter, can you let me do this? Please. Please, just. I try and play ukulele, he bugs me too.
I love puppies, so like all the puppies. I even told Nico that I liked his puppies, so that's how much I love puppies.
I want Baxter to meet what is it, Max, Dave McKagan's dog?
Oh yeah, or Rusty.
I want Baxter to meet Max. I'd love to have Baxter meet Max. That'd be cool. Or Rex? No, it's Max. It is Max, right?
Is it Rusty? I think it's Rusty.
Oh, Rusty. Oh, I'm sorry. It's Rusty. Yeah, Rusty's his dog. Oh, I feel so stupid. Sorry, Dave.
Look.
Sorry. You're watching this. I didn't mean to insult your Rusty there. Yeah.
So no, the dog's name is Baxter, right? Your dog's?
Yeah, Baxter Von Duclaw actually is his official name.
I love it. My sister. I can't wait for my sister to watch this.
He's got 6 toes on his back legs.
Really? So he's a next evolution. All right, I love it.
He's an odd one, but he's good.
Rusty.
He's bugging me though like crazy right now. Baxter, come on, you gotta give me a break, dude.
Let's actually.
All right, I'll just sit here and watch this and let him lick my face.
All right, perfect. All right, let's do Gleason map.
Don't start barking now.
So I'm just gonna make this. I'm gonna grab this picture.
Okay.
You are being in a challenge. Great. This isn't sketchy at all. All right. Can I blow this up? Can I like zoom in? All right. We're just gonna bloop. Well,
I have no idea what you can do. Oh, that's blown up pretty good.
yeah. So what? So my concern. You're not gonna be able to see my big red arrow here, but you'll figure it out. The northern circumference of water is incredibly narrow.
Yes.
So of course, the northern, because if we're going literally around the North Pole where there's only water, because he's a sailor, right? Then there's nothing. Then that's way narrower than if you were to go, circumnavigate or go around the perimeter of in the south.
Yeah, that's it. That's primarily why I was saying the Vendee globe, if you're looking at the Gleason map as being some form of at least representing what you believe, then it's like physically impossible for the boats to have traveled as far as they did, as quick as they did.
Right.
But I'm not really sure exactly why this guy's bringing this up in this. I know what he gets into talking about. He gets into talking about the videos are sped up and stuff.
Yeah. Well, here's also my my guess is that Taboo Conspiracy misinterpreted what this sailor was talking about or what he was saying. That's my goal. He probably cherry picked.
First time.
Probably just cherry picked, and just had a misunderstanding. So let's continue.
Telltale signs of manipulation. Due to his experience in sailing, Hervé noticed that actual distances were shorter in the northern hemisphere and farther in the southern hemisphere. In addition, both false magnetic declination adjustments and time zones certainly hide these changes. In my opinion, the time zone deception is the most obvious since there are only 19 time zones in the northern hemisphere, while there are 31 to 32 time zones in the southern hemisphere.
Do you think that he ever looked up why that is?
When I've heard that argument, I kind of just scratch my head. I'm like, every country makes up their own time zones, what they want.
Yeah, exactly.
In a sense, and that's kind of just the way it's turned out. It's kind of stupid,
Yep.
I mean, a lot we're trying to figure out how to get rid of daylight saving time because it's stupid. But we can change time anywhere we want. But the reality is, there still spins 24 hours and 360 degrees. So that
I love it.
I don't
Declination
understand the
adjustment.
time zone. Yeah, I just don't understand the time zone aspect of it. I was listening to that on Flatsoid's stream. He was saying something about, how can China only have one time zone? It's like, what is it? Is it made by some? Well, I mean, in their eyes, it's probably did God make it that way? Well, then okay, yeah, great, he did, and that's one time zone.
Yeah,
deal with it.
Well, also like everything time, everything like our calendars, they're all a construct of humanity to organize. It's like this shit's been going on for billions of years. We just put an identity to it. That's all it is.
The only element of time in our world that we didn't create is the element of like space time that Einstein looked at and kind of figured out that exists.
Right.
That's something kind of didn't create, but the reality is it exists. I mean, things do happen one point to another, but then we decided how to break down the time between those 2 points and how to do that. And it's all just a construct of man. Yeah, I agree with you on that.
Yeah,
totally.
All right.
Only makes sense.
Time zones, yeah, I don't understand why he's even talking about that. You could skip past all his time zones.
Yeah, no shit. All right, let's.
Road maps have been artificially stretched to hide the fact that driving distances don't match the distances of nautical mile straight pathways of airplanes and boats.
When I heard this, it was funny. When I heard this, I thought to myself, does the guy realize a nautical mile is 6,000 feet and a driving mile is 5,280? So obviously, nautical miles are not going to match driving miles. I mean, these are the things when I first heard this. Is that what he's getting at? Because I don't quite.
Who knows?
Who knows? Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess his point is that they're different because they have to stretch out. They have to stretch out the nautical miles to cover up something.
So. Yeah, it's weird because the amount they would have to exaggerate or deviate or change, it's not like 5%, 10%. We're talking thousands of miles difference between one map and the other. It just I'm looking forward to when if I don't know if MC2 and those guys are going to put out anything about their longitude measurements they did, if they've done that yet.
Yes, I because the videos are coming out so slow because I know they have lives, right? They have families and
plus I don't really think that it was fully understood what element of complete ridiculous derpness they would get when they got back about that. And all the claims that were even like, wait, what? We haven't even put anything out yet. You're claiming this? Wait, what? The insanity that flowed immediately after their return was, in my opinion, I just was baffled by it. I said, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
People are not even willing to give him a chance to put what they do put out. They immediately just try and tear it apart.
Right. And
without any idea as to what's going on. I'm like,
yeah. Like, did you see any of my Steve video from last night?
Yeah, I saw some of it. I had seen a lot of what he did when he was going off on his body language stuff initially, and his whole just going off about the word sets and all that. And it just, I realized when I was watching it, I was like, this guy just won't let that go.
Yeah,
he just won't let that go.
So So actually, this is for everybody. You know the guy that he quoted, or not quoted, but had on his video that was explaining the telltale signs of body language and whatnot. I don't think
I saw that.
Yeah, so it was like a quick, maybe a minute he was on screen, but he was talking about the arms being crossed, and I got an email from someone who was watching that stream, and they're like, hey, this guy has a YouTube channel. He's got like 3 million subs or 1 million subs or whatever. It doesn't matter, but he's well known. And he was like, this guy would completely disagree with him on the body language reading. And I was like, what would be fantastic if I got that guy on my show to go over that video and like shove it in Steve's face. But that's not at all what it was, what's going on. And so I was like, oh my God, do you have his contact information? So he gave me his email address. So I emailed him today, and I hope to hear back from him. Like it would like just like the reason you're on is to help me debunk this. I want him on to help me debunk that. Oh,
Yeah.
this is so much fun. I am having so much fun.
Oh yeah, keep going. I still want to get to the point where we're talking about sailing. as
Yeah,
opposed to
yeah, yeah,
driving.
yeah, yeah.
To be clear, your driving distance aren't wrong. Driving distances cannot be altered, but nautical mile pathways of airplanes and boats can be altered.
Really?
But the controllers had to make it appear as though the driving distances match the nautical mile distances of the straight pathways of airplanes and boats. For example, an airplane that supposedly flies at 520 knots may actually only be flying at 260 knots. I'll have links in the description to Hervé's prior discussions on these topics if you haven't seen them. This next presentation builds on the roadmap presentation by showing how boat speeds based on
Have you seen this?
nautical
I'm
miles
sorry, this
are
cracks me up when I watch this.
artificially inflated. It's very difficult for a sailor to determine independently how fast he's actually traveling, and that's how the controllers have gotten away with this.
The
For
controllers.
the first part of the presentation, Hervé shows how the official recordings of the American Cup competition were artificially sped up to make it appear as though the boats were traveling faster than they actually were. Officially, those boats supposedly travel up to 80 kilometers per hour or 50 miles per hour, but the actual speed is much less. You'll see how the movements of the sailors appear much more natural when slowed down by approximately 30%, and that when the official video is compared to independent footage from a spectator, you can see the speeds of the boats have been
Stop it for
artificially...
a second.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, hold on. Does this guy realize that when those guys are crossing the deck, they're in the middle of a maneuver?
Mhm.
They're tacking or they're jibing, so they're changing direction. They're experiencing about 3 Gs
Jesus.
because these boats are going so fast. Of course, their legs are flying across. Like they're on fast forward. One of the guys actually broke his leg because the force of being thrown sideways and not having his leg a place to go fractured his leg during a bad maneuver when the G-forces all came to head and went bad. So when I heard that, I was just like, these again, it's just somebody watching something without a single clue, not even the slightest clue what they're talking about. It just they you know.
That's so
I'm
good.
sorry.
No, don't be sorry.
These
That's-
guys that drive these boats are the greatest skippers in the world. They're world renowned. They're gold medal winners Olympics. They're yeah. That's like really.
yeah, and
They're all.
I want to know how he landed on lowering the speed by 30%. Like how did you land on that? Like that's such a pull out of nowhere number.
Yeah.
All right.
increased. For the second part of the video, Hervé goes into detail about the apparent wind angle used in sailing. Officially, those American Cup boats are supposedly traveling at 80 kilometers per hour. He demonstrates that those speeds are physically impossible for sailing.
Oh,
This part may seem confusing, but when his car was parked, the true wind angle came from behind the car and to the right at 135 degrees, as indicated by the weather vane. But as he began accelerating, the apparent wind angle shifts to the front of the car.
Yep.
A sailor would be aiming for an apparent wind angle of 27 degrees to inflate the sails, and that angle becomes impossible as the car travels faster than 45 kilometers per hour. A
Now,
sailboat...
that statement right there, I don't understand where he says that's impossible, because what he's not realizing is the sail is not in an angle straight with the direction you're going.
Right.
Sail is actually angled towards that. So you can have an apparent wind that keeps coming. You can always adjust the sail. And in these cases, these boats have masts that are shaped in a way to be part of the sail. They are the leading edge of the sail. The mast is. So you can angle that and you can mess around. So even though as the apparent wind moves forward, you can just keep angling the mast further forward and stuff. Now there is a point where you do have to kind of start veering off where you're reaching that. It's almost like a terminal velocity. Oh, my other half is home, so we'll see what happens.
No problem.
But it's almost like a terminal velocity thing where, you're always chasing this apparent wind when you're going at those speeds. And anyone who's done any land sailing can completely understand that.
Awesome.
Absolutely understand that. So that's why this is really bizarre to compare it to a car. It's just not even, anytime I see someone do that, it's like the physics are different. Everything's different. You're just, doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Okay. I'll let it there. I'll leave it at that. That's incredibly thankful. Thank you for that info. Sorry, I'm just, like, my mind is being blown with how easily you're destroying this video.
Hey, hang on, just 1 second.
Yeah.
I'm going to run real quick because the door just shut. So I just want to make sure all's good.
Yeah, absolutely. I got you. All right, I'll catch up on chat a little bit here. You know, we got Andy, we got Sheppy. Hello.
How's your day? I'm on a live stream right now. The guy's talking to me about sailing and stuff, and it's really cool. I'm having a blast, so I'm excited. So if you ever want to stick your head,
you know, I'll mute that. I used to love watching the 18-foot skiff racing in Sydney Harbor. They're fast, but when things go wrong, they really go wrong. Oh my god, is he going to compare the AC to the Vendee? I don't know. I guess we'll see. We'll see if he's gonna be pulled away. Boats seem too fast for me, therefore flat dirt.
all right. What are we doing? Did I lose it?
No. Oh. No, I hear you.
Okay. All right. There we go.
All right. Perfect.
Yeah, all good. We're all good. She just got back from teaching. She teaches art to an after-school base camp thing, whatever.
Really?
Yeah, to elementary school kids. That's really cool.
That's awesome.
A lot of crafty stuff.
That's very cool. That's very cool.
All right.
All right. I have. Oh wait, Doc C. Wait, Doc C. Are you one of those people? I don't want to accuse anybody because I've done that before. All right, let's continue.
Not travel faster than
what was that?
I think it was somebody else. Somebody else commented earlier about doing some hull speed analysis on something. I thought it was kind of a cool comment.
Gotcha. All right.
That's all right.
All right.
I'm just going to keep getting going.
All right.
approximately 45 kilometers per hour because the forward apparent wind angle makes it impossible to inflate the sails.
All right, stop right there. That's what I heard. This is what I heard. This will inflate the sails.
Yeah.
Okay. When I hear that term, that tells me there's obviously somebody that doesn't quite understand how sailing works.
Yeah, it's not a freaking pirate ship here.
The best way I can describe it is when you're talking about boats that are doing this, the sail is like an airplane wing turned on its side.
Okay.
Think of it that way. And an airplane wing generates lift, right?
Mm-hmm.
So a sail sideways generates lift on one side because it's a higher pressure here and a lower pressure there, so it generates lift and it pulls. So if you think about sailing, not as the wind's blowing you along, but you're creating in a sense, a wedge that allows the boat to be sucked along. And then from there, it's just a matter of, well, where's the path of least resistance? Is it the square flat end and back and behind me? Or is it the pointy end in front of me that's going to go through the water faster? So the boat moves forward because it has the low pressure sucking the sail forward and the hydrodynamics of the hull to move in one direction. That's the fundamental basics of sailing. And so when these boats are going this fast, they're not having a sail that fills. These sails are so stiff and so solid. The earlier America's Cup boats were actually using solid wings, but they found they could get more efficiency with it's like a thicker, heavier Kevlar.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're actually doing where they're two layers to the sail, so they can control the shape of the inside sail and control the shape of the outside sail with two separate lines. I mean, it's fascinating technology. It just blows me away from a sailor standpoint. I'm like, this is really, really space age stuff, but I love it. But what it means is these boats are able to do exactly what he thinks is impossible because they're not filling the sails.
Yeah.
they're generating lift like an airplane wing, and they're going fast enough to do that. That's what he has to understand. There's so little drag when these things are up on wings on their foils that it's an airplane. That's why the guys that control the foils and control that are called flight controllers.
Really?
On these boats, they refer to them as flight controllers because they're flying.
Oh my God.
They're just flying across the water, that's all. But they're flying.
Yeah. No, this is so much fun. I love learning, and thank you so much. All right. I'm going to stop saying that because I think you get it. All right.
No, we're good.
All right, let's continue.
Based on the evidence Hervé has uncovered, we can see the methods of the controllers have used to create the phony sphere, which confirms our flat Earth reality. Anyways, let's get to Hervé's presentation. Enjoy.
Hello, In this video, we are going to observe the speed of the boat. We will prove that the official boat speed is false.
Here, let me lower the volume a little bit. That's super loud.
No, it's fine.
All right. Oops. What?
This is the weirdest comparison. I don't know what they're trying to show there. I mean, is it trying to show a perspective of the sign going past at a certain speed and the buoy's not going past as fast? Is that what he's trying to say?
Yeah, and I was attributing that to different cameras and different lenses.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like the argument of when they say, "Oh, pictures from space with the continents a different size." I personally took my phone. Was it actually a friend that got me into this because he thinks the Earth is flat, yet he has a globe. It's funny. And I saw the argument, and in front of him, I actually walked over and I put the globe in front, and I took my phone and I got really close to it, and I made it fill the screen, and I took the screen. Then I backed up all the way to the other side of the room, and I zoomed into where and the continents are totally different sizes.
Oh, beautiful.
In the two pictures. If I could dig through and find it on my phone, I'd send it to you so you could use it. It's funny. And I was like, dude, doesn't this look just like what you guys are saying is impossible?
So good.
And he got pissed at me, angry or something, told me to go fuck off or something. I'm sorry, I don't want to and swear.
Dude.
Oops.
We are swearing friendly.
Okay.
So don't you worry about that.
I kind of figured with a drunk debunk show it must be, so.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do that. But yeah, so that's an example of just how camera angles mean everything. I mean, cameras, and that's why it's so ironic that they try and choose this as a comparison. A car going 41 kilometers with hillside and trees, and it's just it's anytime you have something of and I have to be in this world, you have to be careful if you call something an experiment nowadays.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah. I do want to talk to Flatzoid about his pointing at the sunset and sunrise and using his phone to determine the angle, because it's just like, how accurate were you on that? I wanted to bring it up. There's no time for that. Maybe if he sees this and he wants to take it on, explain why that means anything.
Yeah.
How accurate his sunset is back and forth. So
yeah, I mean, I'd love to. I'm looking forward to you being on the show again. Absolutely.
Hold on a second. I gotta find it. What are you saying? What's what? Oh wow, maybe a picture fell down when I was doing some vacuuming, so I have to check if a picture fell when I was cleaning. Yeah, we'll check it out. Well, I'd explain what that thump was.
Is your house haunted?
I was cleaning our guinea pig cages today, and I think I hit something on the wall and knocked a picture off, and didn't know it disappeared behind a cabinet. So I'm like, what? I heard something. And she finds the glass. It's like, ooh, I didn't break nothing. Probably my picture. But anyway, back to what we were doing. Yeah, I don't understand how people can do this type of an analysis and say that it's equivalent at all. It just doesn't make any sense.
All right. I've been asked by Doc C to ask your guests to explain VMG. It will debunk the whole boat race thing.
Well, velocity made good is what VMG stands for. And I mean, it's basically when you're looking at all the variables that go into sailing, current, wind, ground, waves, swell, whatever. If you calculate it all in, you can basically determine whether you're maximizing your velocity to be where you're trying to go. So if you have a point you're trying to get to, and you might be hauling ass, but you're heading the wrong direction, your velocity made good is not going to be as good as a guy who's going slightly slower, but more towards the target. So it's a combination of all of it that basically determines whether your VMG is what you want. So you always, when you're sailing and racing, you're always trying to maximize your VMG. And you're always trying to make sure that your velocity made good, because that means your velocity in the direction you want to be going.
Right.
It's like, that's where I want to go. That's where I'm going. Because the truth is different sail designs, you could get from point A to point B multiple different ways when sailing, and who knows which one's going to be faster. If the further off you go from the wind, the faster you tend to go. The more you have the wind on a 9-degree angle, you tend to be reaching, you tend to be faster. It's sort of the optimum wind angle for maximum speed. And depending on the boat design, I might be wrong on some. There are some that work better with the wind slightly behind or slightly ahead of 90. But so you could choose to do that and go longer distance, but get there faster than somebody who's choosing a different angle. So that's why when Flatside said about the different distances, it's like all 40 boats are trying their best to figure out what way is going to be best to get there faster.
Yeah.
They're all just trying to find the wind. They're looking at the forecast, going, well, if I go down here, maybe I can catch this. A bunch of the boats went down into an area that most of the sailors think is just insanity, because you're down right where the heart of the storms are, and it's the worst condition when the low pressure's in there and it really hits you. It's the stuff that will destroy one of these boats if you're not careful. And
Wow.
so they really have to decide. It's like, do I risk the boat? I need to go as fast as possible, but I also want to still stay in one piece.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to figure out, you got all this stuff is going on. And then bear in mind, you're at sea by yourself for 60 plus days, 70, 80 days. Some of the boats are still out there now. It's been 85 days.
Wow.
They're still going by themselves.
That's insane.
If you're not batshit crazy by that time, I don't know what you are.
I feel like
So velocity made good. Oops, sorry, I keep bumping my box. I have my phone in a box. Velocity made good is basically your efficiency. If you look at it like your efficiency over ground towards your target.
awesome.
That would be the best example of it.
Very cool. That was very very easy to understand. They're saying the boat speed is the same as velocity made good. It's the number we care about. Nice. All right.
I don't quite understand what that means, but okay.
They being like flat sword and shit, I'm assuming.
Oh yeah, yeah.
All right. Shall we? All right. So all right. First here. Okay. So these are. So I'm assuming that like 42 knots is 78 kilometers per hour. I'm assuming.
Well, it looks like there is going 78 kilometers per hour and 41 kilometers per hour. Like he's trying to show the difference between what they're saying the speed is and what actually it is. I don't quite understand what this means.
Yeah, I don't either.
Sure where they're getting at with that. And also, it's always funny when they're able to take up, because I've watched all of these races. They make mistakes with their graphics. I mean, there's a lot of times you'd see the wrong flag over the boat. I mean, they make mistakes with their graphics. It's computer graphics being put onto a live stream. There's complications, it's like the glitches in the space in the ISS videos. Shit happens. It doesn't mean anything. And so for them to rely on they said it was 78 here and it's not there, and that's I ranked that up with he said sets.
Yeah. Love it. All right. Guys, really quick, I gotta do some housekeeping here. Make sure, guys, if you're having a great time, expect way more content like this on my show. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit the like button so my share helps support the stream. Thank you guys. All right, let's continue.
Yeah, I'm good. My phone's plugged into my charger in my boot down here, so I'm all set.
Wait, is it your left boot?
It's my left boot.
Perfect. That's how we do at the 33. All right.
Don't get me started on that whole thing. Jesus, that was stupid. All right, go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it looks like he's circling an item like it's supposed to be going past. So 78 versus 40. Yeah, I don't know keep going.
No, look at the camera. The camera is a wide angle camera. It's completely different than the camera over on the right. Oh,
yeah, that's the whole thing. It's a dash cam versus a huge wide angle on this thing.
Yeah, so insane. All right.
Okay.
So clueless. Absolutely clueless.
This video follows the previous video on distances, where we observed that the distances on the maps, in particular the distances as crow flies, are also wrong by about double. That is to say that the scale of the distances on the maps are twice too large. This corresponds to the distance of the globe. And as these distances are twice too great for journey as the crow flies, and the speed of plane and boats are also going to be too big by half. That is to say, a plane which officially flies at 900 kilometers per hour, in reality flies at 450 kilometers per hour or less. And a boat which sails at 25 knots, that is to say approximately 46 kilometers per hour, will actually travel in a straight line half. So I suggest you watch the video on distances to fully understand the subterfuge.
Wait, so we're not going to get that right now?
Did he say to fully understand the centrifuge?
Yeah. I
Centrifuge have to do with any of this?
I don't. Maybe it's just a translation issue. I don't know
It
because
might be. And I saw a blur. There was a cut there, so I don't know exactly what it was. There was a blurred cut, so I don't know what. I honestly have no idea what he meant by any of the stuff he just said. I really
because
the double speeds, half distance. I'm sorry. There's no way in the world anybody in a boat's going to be doing 25 knots and be told, "Oh no, you're actually doing 12."
Yeah, and I don't know. I don't understand how that. Maybe he's talked about in the northern hemisphere, because in the southern hemisphere that would make your travel time exponentially longer. Like, but it's supposed to be shorter. All right.
I don't get it. I
guess,
really don't.
Oh, subterfuge is SUBTER.
Subterfuge, is that what he said?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he said centrifuge.
Yeah, me too. It's like, do you know what a centrifuge is, sir?
Spitting plasma? What's going on here? What are we doing?
We're mixing potions.
We're mixing blood, yeah. We're mixing potions and stuff in our centrifuge.
Sur les distances pour bien comprendre le subterfuge. Now, if we try to put ourselves in the place of the manipulators, we understand that we have the reality of a flat Earth. Here it is a glisten. In my opinion, it is not accurate, but to simplify, we will take this one. So we have a flat Earth, which is reality, and the controllers want to make a sphere from this flat Earth.
Yeah, no details at all.
So the controllers know that the boats are going to go around it. So it will be necessary that this distance, which goes around the continents by the certain latitude, must be quite similar to the distance they will make under the ball and agree with the fall speeds and distances. So this distance here under the globe must be similar to the distance there.
Why?
I say
That no.
Well,
No. Why would the distance around the globe be the same as around the outside of that? Unless I'm understanding him wrong, I don't quite understand the connection he's making.
I think what he's saying is that they have to make the
Well, here's an interesting question about the race, because you think about it, like I was saying, I mentioned about they all try and get as far south as possible.
right.
If the Earth was flat, wouldn't they all be trying to cut as close as possible to the bottom of Africa and the bottom of Cape Horn and the bottom of Australia? Wouldn't they be trying to hug as close, even cut between Australia? I mean, wouldn't they be trying to do that?
They
if
would.
It was distance to go?
Yeah, I don't get it, but they're lying about the speeds.
Yeah, it's kind of a strange.
Centrifuges need a container. That's correct, Pat Booth.
Yes.
Right. They actually do.
it's similar because looking at the
I don't know if
speed
you
of...
heard that. Hold on, pause for a second. I don't know if you heard the comment that was on the panel after I left, because I heard it after I got done. When I got done trying to figure out my writing lesson, where they were saying about, because I was a scuba instructor, I definitely should be the one that understands about gas pressure needing a container.
Oh God.
I want to pose a question to any of Flatzoid's panel out there. Is like, if any of them can tell me why 130 feet is the recreational dive limit for scuba divers. Not just because it's more complicated when you get deeper, not just because it's a higher risk. I want to know the medical physiology of why 130 feet is why Patty and all of the other organizations say that's how far you should go and no deeper. So that's my challenge. If anyone can tell me the answer, I'll be really surprised.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Challenge to the world to do that.
Do you
when you hear it, you're gonna be like, "Well, that makes complete sense." When you hear the answer, you'll know that. So,
do you want to put $5,000 in escrow for that?
I don't have 5,000 in escrow. Can MC Toon put in for me? He seems to have money in escrow right now. Like, dude, you're doing really good. Apparently.
Yeah. Right. All right.
Maybe I should make this YouTube channel shit thing work more and make some more money at it. I don't know. I've never tried.
I don't know, man.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. All right.
Too much work. I watch how much work you guys have to do, and I just don't want to do it. I don't want to do all that. It'd be fun, but I don't want to do all that.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of. I'm not a very good communicator, and as anybody who's known me for the last 5 years would know, but I have had to do more communicating since I started since my show started taking off a little bit than I've ever done in my entire life. So so it is a lot of work, I gotta say. Yeah. For me, who's kind of introverted. All right.
Well, you're doing good, man. Keep it up.
Hey, thanks, man.
These averages seem too low to me, even taking into account the fall speed. Because in
All right, stop that for a second.
Yeah.
Just so you understand, okay, see the boat? See that thing sticking up? I can't know if you can see it. It's on my screen. It's right next to where you are.
Yeah,
but it looks like a fin sticking up on the windward side of the boat, the upward leaning side of the boat.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was talking about when I said the foiling Maka 60s. These boats have these foils on them that aid in lifting the boat out of the water to physically bring the hull. The faster they go, the more lift it generates, and it brings them out of the water. Obviously, that reduces your drag and increases your speed. So just so if you haven't seen one of those, that's what those foils are for.
Sick. All right, cool.
That's pretty cool. It's badass, man. I love it.
All right.
The weather conditions are optimal for achieving the best speed average.
You mean the green thing, right?
No, the black thing up at the top of the screen. The green thing is one of his rudders.
Oh.
He's just on the other tack. There's two rudders on those boats, one for each tack, because when you're angled, you want the rudder down in the water, so they put them on the sides instead of in the middle.
Under the boom. Oh, okay. So, okay. All right. Very cool. All right.
So the manipulators will not have the choice to make a globe on the basis of a flat Earth to artificially stretch the Earth's surface so that this distance is similar to that.
It's almost like following Santos with his astrology stuff.
Yeah, I mean, all these.
It's hard to understand what he's trying to say. I don't understand what he's trying to get at.
Yeah, I don't either.
We have less Earth surface than on the ball. There will be a lot.
Pat Booth says it's because Megalodon lives deeper than 130 feet.
Good point. Yeah. Hey, you don't have to outswim the shark. Just outswim your slowest buddy.
Just like bears.
Your dive knife is not to stick the shark. It's to stick your buddy and get out of there.
Good to know. I like that.
More on the sphere. So they have to artificially stretch this surface to create the maps of the globe. And then they have no choice to cheat with the distances and the speeds. And the manipulators have another
I don't understand how making so what he's saying is that they're not going that fast, but they have to say that they're going that fast because they're covering a larger distance.
Apparently, yeah. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm like I said, I'm really trying to understand what the point is here, and I just can't.
Yeah, the logic isn't logicking.
No.
Parameter to respect. The manufacturer of this globe must have a certain dimension. The globe must be large enough to have a perspective that is similar to the flat Earth. For example, a person looking at the horizon at the seaside, the angular resolution of the human eye must resemble the curvature of a sphere of 40,000 kilometers in circumference. So they have no other choice than to make a big sphere, and to map it, they will have to cheat with the distances and speeds. And we also saw in the previous video that the manipulators have established two systems of...
I'm going to skip to more sailing. I had no... What the fuck was that guy even saying?
I have no idea what he's talking about.
Good Lord. Oh, NASA can't have us know that the Megalodon is real, says Tim Hunter. So that's valid. All right.
America's Cup is a sailboat race. It is the oldest sport trophy in the world. Since 1851, over the years, the boat
the America's Cup. I get it. We know.
models have evolved, and these.
If he starts getting into the controversy of the '80s with the catamaran versus the Australia, I don't want to go there.
For their time.
Been there, done that. Don't need to relive that.
Boats that are safe enough to cross the Atlantic or even sail on the high seas. But they are very efficient sailboats, and now the latest boat models have appendage with foil on each side of the hull, the sailboat
Oh my
leans
God,
on
they
the
are
foil.
so fast. Jesus.
Yeah, it's crazy. When I watched the San Francisco America's Cup race back, I don't know when it was. It was when America came back from being down 8-1 and they won 9-8 in the series. And I was watching the first time you get the camera angles from the boats that are right by the end marks, either the windward mark or the leeward mark. And that was the first time I've ever watched sailing, and my heart raced when I saw the speed they were going. I was like, holy crap, those guys are hauling ass. I've been 22 knots in a sailboat before.
Wow.
In a trimaran that I was racing in before, years ago. But that's the fastest I've done on water as far as in a sailboat.
Mm-hmm.
And that's quick. When I watch the Vendee Globe videos, I get this just chicken skin hair stands up like, ooh, that's so fast. Those guys are going so fast. And these guys are going even faster. So
That's
yeah, it's
so
just
crazy. All right.
And thus they will take off from the water, and there is less friction
Oh, yeah, look,
on the
they're
water,
literally,
which
like,
allows them
flying.
to reach very good speed.
Yeah, they're foiling.
And what is
This is the
interesting
foiling
for us,
technology.
Yeah.
And the reason they have it out to the side is because think about it from physics. Think about if you were to put that right down below and you lift up, you're suddenly going to get blown over.
Right.
But if you put it off to the side here and you lift up, it's going to take a lot more to push that thing over. So it just makes sense that they have them out on the sides like that.
Yeah.
If you look at where those are, it's the same locations as where the foils are on the catamarans that sail. It's just they have two hulls and not one. It's almost the same configuration for where the foils are with relation to the mast and the sails.
Gotcha.
us as flat earther is that we will have live information of what is happening on the boat.
Oh my God.
Like here, for example, we will have live the speed of the boat here, which is 34.
Did they just say they were pointing 118 degrees? Oh, wait, where did I hear that before? Never mind. Okay. That was a flat side dig.
Gotcha.
And the wind speed, which is 12.9 knots. The other information is less interesting for our study.
All right.
These
Can we get to
all
a point?
broadcasts are filmed
Yeah, I don't.
that
Again,
will
I don't
very,
understand what he's
very
talking
short, and we rarely have a fixed point with the camera stationary where we could time the boats. But if we look at a lot of them, we'll end up finding some, and you will see that we will be able
Oh my
to
God, they're
time
gonna
a
crash.
boat passing in the front of a fixed point and compare it with the live speed of the boat that the production of the show provides us. We will see now how the crew move on the boat.
I think this guy just needs to get on one of those boats, and the first experience he has on one of them, he's just going to shut the hell up.
Yeah, I you know what? Like, this guy is like, I don't understand.
You should look up the videos of where Jamie O'Brien, and I think it was Jamie O'Brien and I can't remember who else got to join on these boats and be crew for a day on some of these boats, and these guys are the big wave surfers in Hawaii that are nuts, and they were just blown away by how fast it was going.
Yeah, it looks
I don't
like
understand what he's getting at. I really don't.
I think what he's saying is that that we can't really tell the speed unless we have a fixed camera, and all these cameras are technically moving with the boats. And so there's really no way that we can tell the actual speed that they're going.
So if that's, if basically the only reason why he would have to say that is because he doesn't understand the idea of GPS tracking speeds.
Yeah.
And he doesn't understand the concept of that. So obviously he doesn't use any indicator on he doesn't use his phone. This guy never uses his GPS on his phone to tell him how long it's going to take him to get someplace based on how fast he's going.
Yeah. So
because that phone is not tied into your car's speedometer, so it doesn't know how fast you're going. The phone is figuring out how fast you're going without being connected to your car.
Exactly.
And can tell you how long it's going to take for you to get from one place to another. So the idea of needing a fixed camera or something to be able to tell that really it's kind of digging deep, if you ask me.
Yeah, it's so what I want to focus on is the broadcast like the augmented reality, the lines, because if you pay attention to the lines and then you keep them you match them up to like the boats in the background.
Yeah,
like they're not moving, they're staying fixed. So like
Yeah, they generally do a pretty good job with their graphics staying on mark. Sometimes you'll see them move and shake. You'll see those grid lines move when you're watching these broadcasts, but they're pretty accurate as far as staying, showing the average distance apart and how far they are.
right.
And it's been great to help people that don't understand sailing, that can't understand how one boat can be shown in front of another boat and not really understand why, since it looks like the other boat's in front. Because sailing is tricky that way. You have to understand that, there's the shortest distance based on, where the wind is coming from. Shortest distance to the mark is going to be what creates those rack lines, those grids.
Yeah. Like the VMG, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I feel like he's just going to be saying the same shit over and over again here.
Yeah, I mean, when Flatzoid was playing this on his show, and the comments those guys were making were just, I was laughing. I mean, I was trying to cook my dinner tonight. I was laughing hysterically when I was going back and listening to that video about the stuff they were saying. It just made it so clear. It just was so obvious. Like, none of those guys have ever been out on a boat before. They've probably never been out sailing. Right. If they have, maybe it was a day sail. They've never done any navigation work. They've one of the things when I was on one of the garbage patch voyages we had, was kind of interesting. We'd be out in the middle of nowhere. When you're in the high pressure zone where the garbage is, a little deviation from the topic here. When you're in the high pressure zone, there's a reason why boats don't go through the high pressure zone, because high pressure zone is notoriously dead wind. There's no wind.
Right.
I mean, when it's the nicest weather, wherever you live, I guarantee it. You look at the weather map, there's a big old H sitting right over your town. Guaranteed. Because there's just no wind. It's just, that's when the best conditions are. So the gyre, or the plastic, basically follows this high pressure system around the Pacific. And we were out there in the middle of the night. We're 1,500 miles away from any land.
Wow.
On a 50-foot catamaran. And we would see these glowing lights far off in the distance. You could see this glow over the horizon. And so I'd go over and I'd look, and I said, anything on the radar? And I'd look, and I'd be like, oh yeah, there's something right on the very edge of the 20-mile range of the radar. Like, I see a blip, and it lines up perfectly with the glow I see. It's like, when I was talking to the captain, it's like, what is that? And probably a shrimp boat, because they light up the water and they attract the shrimp, and shrimp boats are out there all the time. And they fish at night, and that's what they do. And so I was like, well, let me, the radar can see it, but I can't. All I see is the glow.
Right.
So I'm going to climb up the mast. And I'm going to look at the height of the radar, and lo and behold, I can see the light on the boat now that I climbed up the mast.
Imagine that.
When I go back down, I can see the glow. It's like, well, the glow is obviously less light, but that's making it to me.
Mm-hmm.
So it's obviously not a case of where just because I went higher, now sudden. I mean, that's one of those that just my personal experience of seeing things far away, and that completely blows away this idea of it being perspective, and you're not going to see something that's going to go out of sight. That. Again, they talk about use your observation, use the things you see in life. Well, yeah, I use the things I see in life, and it doesn't tell me that.
Right.
It does not tell me the things that they're saying. So I have to look at it and go, well, what in the fuck are you guys seeing? I don't understand that. Because to me, that's a no-brainer. You climb up, you see the light. You drop back down, you can't see the light.
Right.
It's just, yeah.
That's how actual perspective works.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it was. Yeah.
Awesome.
And
all right. Well, that was I'm so glad that I was able to have you clear a lot of stuff up on that video tonight.
Yeah.
And holy moly, man, we got lots more to talk about. But I'm
late. What time is it? I have no idea what time it is.
It is. I have about 20 minutes left. So,
okay.
Tell me about. We're gonna get a little personal here. Wait,
sure.
VHF.
I got no problem with that.
VHF refracts in the atmosphere. It actually uses four. I don't know.
Said 4 dB or something. What are they saying?
Like 4/3, the power of 3. I'm assuming Earth's radio to find the radio horizon. Oh, radius.
Are they talking horizon. About the 7/6R thing for the physical horizon for a radar distance or something? Is that what they're getting at, or 3 or something?
DC, I know that thing makes sense to you, but I don't know what that means. So tell me about your time in New England. I want to.
Well, I was raised there. I mean, I was raised a townie in at the campus of UNH, and my parents are both faculty there. So my dad was an oceanographer. And my mom worked in the guidance office of one of the related schools, sub schools with it. But yeah, I lived there until I realized that I couldn't make a living flipping burgers at Burger King, and I did a stint in the service. Spent 3 years in the Army, and I was at Fort Carson. Did power equipment generation repairs, an MOS that doesn't even exist anymore because they've changed it. But it was kind of like the idea of me learning about, that I wasn't stupid, because in high school I was a delinquent. I mean, I was just, how I got out of that, even alive, too many dead shows. I just can't even get into that. But somehow I ended up going in the service, and then after I got out of the service, it was like, well, I like mechanical stuff. It seems to be something I'm good at. It seems to be something I can understand.
Mm-hmm.
I liked physics when I got out and went to college. I was like, well, I really am enjoying physics and stuff and the mechanical things. And so I got my degree in electronics engineering technology, and then moved to California and got a job at a company that built rectifiers, and spent 13 years there. Then they moved their company to Massachusetts, and I'm like, screw that, I'm going to California. Or I'm going to, at that point when they quit, it was actually kind of ironic, because I was working at this semiconductor company, and then 9/11 happened. Mm. And I had decided to get certified scuba diving prior to that. And I'd already gone through the classes. And then our first open water dive that I did, the first open water dive was after 9/11. And I remember being underwater going, man, I feel so much more comfortable here than I do up there. Just way more comfortable. I've always swam. I don't have any memories of not knowing how to swim. So swimming and sailing was something I just done throughout my life and just felt comfortable with it.
Yeah.
And so then it was a case of saying, well, I guess I'm going to give up being an engineer and become a scuba instructor. And
nice.
So, well, I actually decided I want to be a videographer first. I was like, I want to be a videographer. So I went around California. This is back in 2002, a long time ago, over 20 years ago, that I went around and went to a scuba expo and went to all the tables that had video cameras. I had TVs going. I'm like, oh, I can do video. It's like, I had no idea what I was doing. I'm just like, I'm going to get my card to these guys. Scubadrew Video Works is the business name I came up with 12 years ago, how many years ago? I was like, sounds corny, it'll work. Sounds like Scooby-Doo. Yeah, I'll do it. So and I go down to a table where there's a guy sitting down there in his captain's outfit and jars of plastic. And it's Captain Charlie Moore, who discovered the garbage patch back in 1998. And he was getting ready to do another voyage. One thing led to another. I volunteered on his boat. Spent 3 weeks out in the ocean, sailing out, checking the garbage patch. Ending up in Hawaii, flying back. During that time, my ex-wife, now ex-wife, former wife, we decided, housing, it was right around the housing bubble time period. It's like, now's the right time to sell the house, get out of there, move to Hawaii. Let's move to Hawaii. We've always wanted to go there. So we moved there. I then said, well, let me, start teaching videography underwater. Well, you can't teach anything in scuba unless you're an instructor. So I'm like, let me become an instructor. And it was just one thing led to another. And that was the next 15 years.
Wow.
Teaching and videotaping and having some insane experiences. They've just been really, really, cool in understanding that. And then that marriage time period ended, and I decided it was time to I've always wanted to live on a boat, and I said, that's it. So I'm going to buy a boat. I bought a boat, lived on that for 5 years. Met somebody else. She came out. Boat life didn't work so well.
Yeah, it's not for everybody. That's for sure.
I can always get another boat. I don't want to die alone, man. So it's just like I'm getting rid of the boat. So I sold the boat, came out here, and just did what I could do to make sure I have something for retirement and going down the road. So I was just kind of chilling and been involved in watching this and the interest of it. To me, it's kind of strange. It's like, to me, flat Earth is almost like a psychological study to try and figure out what, the guys, the guys, MC Tune and those guys, they've got the top left categories. They've got the top left nominations. By the way, I would nominate Flatzoid in a heartbeat for top left. It's just in a heartbeat. I've never seen somebody so confident that they're right.
Oh my God.
In everything he talks about. I've never met anybody who's just so convinced they're absolutely right. and yet at the same time we'll stay in a stream. Oh, I'm willing to admit when I'm wrong.
Right.
But, never seen that. I've yet to see that. And it's funny the way that works. But yeah, this whole latest thing with Jaren and what's with Witsit. Oh my gosh.
Dude, I swear to God, like he went into this with the intent of just ruining it for everybody.
I don't know. I mean the whole idea, it's like that, oh, I'm gonna go buy a backpack now.
Yeah.
You've had 6 months. It's like, what? I mean, I was more prepared for that for my garbage patch voyage, and I only had 3 weeks to prepare for that one. It's just, yeah. So, but I think it's, I love the fact what they did. It's, and all in all, it just kind of goes to show, because I followed, both I've seen from what MC Toon puts out with the book that talks about science denial. Mm-hmm. And the stages of it necessarily. And Bob the Science Guy does the same thing. And both those guys are great with explaining that, because it's absolutely true. Mm-hmm. That there is sort of just this it doesn't matter what. It really doesn't. And unfortunately, I think because of the way our culture and stuff is gone now, with the way the media is, with fake news and accusations of things being wrong, and the way AI can generate stuff now.
Yeah.
It's kind of scary, because as we've seen here, video evidence doesn't mean shit.
Right.
If they don't want to.
Exactly. They'll just poke holes where holes don't exist.
They will find anything to justify the feeling of that. And when you're looking at that, you're like, they always talk about, you can't argue with somebody that shows up unarmed, and you can't, can't want to fight with somebody who's So I don't know. I have no idea, but I just love the entertainment of it. Mm-hmm. I've really been enjoying, some of the stuff that goes on. I think, especially seeing the guys like Dave McKean come out from the stuff, because he's great. I think I would have loved to spend a few days in Antarctica with him, because he looks like he's got a good sense of humor, and he's pretty, funny guy. But
yeah, he does. And so yeah, when I first heard about TFE, like I saw the teasers, like before anybody knew anything, and yeah. I sat down and I was like, all right, I like, of all things to cover, I have to cover TFE, and I started really covering it after it had ended, because like I was covering it like up until then, but my streaming community was all about gaming before. So when I threw out the idea that I was going to be like doing this talk show and debunking stuff, it started out with just doing like ghost videos and whatnot, like on Friday nights, just getting drunk with my friend online, and we just laugh at ghost videos and stuff. And then the TFE was announced, and I was like, all right, I need to start like getting more into a lot more conspiracies. And so I went and I did a whole presentation on the moon landing, which was a lot of fun, because I learned a lot. I also learned that my grandfather designed some equipment that's still on the moon to this day. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, isn't that super cool?
That's really cool.
Yeah, because I showed my dad the presentation. He was like, oh, why didn't you put in that my father designed whatever, I forget what it was, and it's still on the moon. I was like, well, I didn't know until just now. So yeah, I played a lot of games, and then my show started taking off right after TFE, because like it was the video that I put out was about Flatzoid. That's the one that absolutely took off.
Was it 11 frames?
No, I forget what it was even. It was just something that he said that was stupid. It might have been just something that he said about TFE being faked or something, one of the many, many things. And it just took off.
Stuck out to me.
Yeah. Wow, that was, holy shit, I thought...
That's a bad South African accent there. I can't do it very well.
I thought Flatzoid was here with me.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I love that false dichotomy line. I mean, if you look at it the way he does, I can see why he comes up with that. It's like, well, yeah. I can. That's the thing. A lot of times I can understand their reasoning in their head. Mm-hmm. As crazy as it might be, I can kind of go, I can see how somebody could think that.
Right.
I really do. I mean, I can see when somebody looks out and they look at this horizon and go, yeah, it's fucking flat.
Yeah,
See,
exactly.
I get that. I can understand that, but I also understand that if it takes an entire day to turn 360 degrees, we're not going to feel that.
Right.
I also know that.
Yeah. It's and like it's just the inertial reference frames they don't get that and you're not going to feel motion unless you're accelerating or decelerating.
What I heard was it Craig or Mike that was talking about drive a car and turn only take an entire year to make the turn.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what they have to understand. Yeah.
And Professor Dave definitely mentioned that a few times too.
Oh man, the whole Professor Dave, Lord Jamal thing or whatever going on, that was hilarious.
Oh,
that was great entertainment.
I love Professor Dave when he was like, people only know about you, Lord Jamar, because of me. Nobody knew who you were until I came around and
truth be told, I had no idea who the guy was until
Same.
I saw that. I did, but then again, I don't expect to know who he is. So.
Yeah,
I didn't know who Lord Godfrey was either. Any of those guys. I've only been watching kind of just the pretty much just the guys within the MC Tune and that group. And I mean, I started like Mr. Sensible's Mage Project. You ever see that? You ever get into looking at that and watching that whole video?
Actually haven't seen anything from Mr. Sensible other than like clips and stuff.
You should watch the Mage thing. It's really cool. He took his own weather balloon and took it up there, and he actually did it with a completely, what is the term, rectilinear lens?
Yeah, exactly.
No barrel distortion.
Mm-hmm.
Put strings across the lens so that it shows it's not. Captured a perfect arc, and they're like, nuh-uh.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
It just, that was one of those that makes you realize that nothing is going to change with this. It's just, it's the, I can't hear you, la, 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 la.
Exactly.
What it seems like. Really is what it seems like. So.
Awesome. All right. Well, I gotta wrap this up. My wife is giving me the.
I hope I didn't tank your ratings for the show tonight. I really appreciate chatting. It was fun. I'm glad I was able to get on, and now I know I can do this with my phone and sit out here, and it's kind of cool. So.
Yeah. I like your background. It's very.
The timing is right. I can do that. So if you ever get into debates with other people and feel like having me jump in, if I can time it, I'll do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And did you paint that in your background?
Oh no, this is actually a tapestry over here. And then
okay.
I got my Monty Pythons always look on the bright side of life.
Love it.
Do that. So. Yeah, no, I've always been pretty laid back about everything. So this is a perfect. Yeah, I can give it just a quick look around because I've got these like lights in the trees.
Whoa, I love this
nice little backyard. My nice little backyard paradise I got here. So
that's nice.
Happy with it.
That's very nice.
Like I said, that's part of I don't have any neighbors nearby except coyotes out there. I'm surprised we haven't heard coyotes yet. They go off.
That's so cool.
But yeah, we'll have to talk more about New England and stuff because I grew up in that whole area and I mean I left without looking back when I joined the Army. I pretty much was like in my rear view mirror, the town I was living in at the time. But I do miss it. I'm going to go back to the Cape this summer and probably if everything goes well, tie the knot with the other half in here.
Nice.
Official.
All right, I won't say anything if it's a secret.
Oh, we only just broadcast it to the fucking world, yeah.
I love it. All right, well, Drew, again, thank you so much for being on the show, and
my pleasure. It was fun.
So I'm actually working on like a rotation of guests because like I have a lot of people that I want back on the show. So so I'm gonna add you to that rotation, sir.
Well, chances are after this, I'm gonna have to promise her that it's not gonna be like an every night thing.
Oh, so no, we got it's gonna be at least once a month. So just
sounds good. There you go.
All right, Drew. You take care of yourself. All right, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you, man. You too, man. I appreciate it. I'm glad you had me on.
Yeah, no problem, man. Have a good one.
How do I close this thing? What do I do? How do I get out of this?
I'll close it.
Oh, the little leave button up here. I can do that. There we go.
All right, good night, man. All right, yo, that was cool. Man, I feel like I learned so much doing this show. Like I'm learning things that I never thought that I'd ever learn or be interested in. Like this is so what an opportunity this is. So I great show, better guest. What do you mean? Better guest. Let's see. As he should, as everyone, drunk with power. That dude is burnt. Well, I mean, he lives in Southern California. He's got access to the sun. You know what I'm saying? Drunk with knowledge now. Yeah, let's go. Yeah, I might be I might be sober on with no booze. I even filled my shot glass with Coke Zero Sugar, just so I could like do my shot, but I didn't even take my shot. So to close out the show tonight, guys. Good evening. Yes, CK. Hello. Busy night. Yes, as it is during the week. Everyone's streaming. Everyone streams during the week. But you know what? Like I said before, I make up my schedule. All right, so let's before we close it out for tonight, guys, we're gonna take our shot. Remember what I said? We're gonna take our shot. We're gonna take it now.
In a tavern old and cozy,
To another fantastic guest on my show. Definitely up there in the ranks with Professor Phil, and of course Andy. You guys are all fantastic. Thank you so much for being here and supporting me. To you guys, to the Drunk Debunk Show.
Let the truth be known with whiskey and wisdom. We'll carry on at the Drunk Debunk Show, a place to call home.
Oh, the fourth wall. Love it. I love it so much, guys. All right, well, I hope you all had fun. Thank you so much for the super chats, the gifted memberships. Just want to make sure I didn't miss any. Nope, did not miss any. Thank you again all for being here, for supporting me, the little small streamer, and I will catch you guys. I feel like I'm forgetting something. I believe I have so many people that I'm talking to right now. I know that I have somebody scheduled. Oh, let me just check, because I feel like. All right, let's see. So there's actually a bunch. Okay. I have this guy Peter. This guy Peter is, I think he has a YouTube channel. I gotta check him out a little bit more, but he's gonna be on my show sometime. And then we have I asked Spa Visit, aka Mistress Geegan, to get out to be on my show. I said, good evening. I'd love to have you on my show so you can explain your grievances with the globe. I hope you consider. And then they responded with Vax damaged globetard LOL. And I responded to that with, that's just the energy I'm looking for. I love it. I hope you consider the opportunity. So I don't think that they're gonna be. And then there's Chaz, who sent me MC Toon, Creaky, FTFE, and Mr. Sensible this email with all of this way over my head math and stuff. So I might have him on my show as well, if he wants to be. And then I have there's so many people. And then there's Olaf. I believe he's in Olaf's in Austria. So and he has a YouTube page as well. and I saw what he wrote. Iron Horse has still not reached out to me. Critical Think, I need to get back to him as well because I want him on my show. And I think, and Steve's going to be on my show not next week but the week after. But there are people going to be on my show. All right, so yes, Ghost Stream is still on for Friday. So Friday night, Andy, if you're still here, I'm signing you up. There you go. Make no plans. 3Ron with $2 super chat says, you missed this super chat. Thank you for the $2 super chat. I appreciate that to wrap up the night. All right, so I'm going to stop boring the fuck out of you guys. And I'm going to play off. We're going to play let's see. We are going to play a little country song we like to call Socks in My Crocs. Good night, everybody. Has anyone heard from Lizbeth? I don't think so. Have you tried to get Lizbeth on your show? That would be a really good thing. If anybody has the contact information for Lizbeth, can you email it to me or DM me in Discord? That'd be fantastic. Great fun. We'll do it again. Yes, Scubadrew, thank you so much, man. It was so much fun. It was a good time. Good time. All right. I am going to go. All right. Good night, guys. Enjoy Socks in Your Crocs.
Down by the riverbank where the cattails grow, I've got my old blue jeans and a shirt that's plaid just so. But the thing that gets them talking, makes the neighbors gawk, is my woolen socks peeking out of my Crocs. Ma says I'm crazy, Pa just shakes his head, says city folks might laugh, son, but keep your feet well fed. I don't care for fashion, I'm a small town paradox, with my mismatched socks slid inside these Crocs. I've got socks in my Crocs, strolling down the lane, feeling pretty fine, though the style's kind of plain. Neighbors might be staring, but I just don't care. I've got comfort on my feet and country in the air. Out in the backwoods where nobody mocks, I can hunt and fish, ain't worried about those rocks. Though folks may think it's silly, or maybe a little bizarre, these socks in my Crocs are like sneakers in my car. I've got socks in my Crocs, strolling down the lane, feeling pretty fine, though the style's kind of plain. Neighbors might be staring, but I just don't care. I've got comfort on my feet and country in the air. When winter comes a-calling with its icy, chilling frost, I ain't got no worries, 'cause my toes won't get lost. With my trusty socks, keeping every step so warm, in my special Crocs, I can